Thank you so much, man. We're going to come back to you momentarily. I want to jump right to an interview with my friend Jordan Sheridan of Status Coup. He shared a video with me last night that I had to get him on this morning to talk about, and that is around the organizing efforts at Amazon. Jordan, first of all, how are you this morning? Thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Pleasure is mine and ours. I want to first play this clip, but contextualizing it, Amazon employees have been trying to organize, particularly in Bessemer, Alabama, is the most recognizable name in terms of this movement. Christian Smalls, the brother who started organizing in New York. There's just a whole lot that's happening around this. And I think it's important for every community, particularly the Black community, to see how these corporations that saturate our communities really treat employees. Let's start with that video that you captured, or that you released.
We just want, so we've been told,
sorry, I just want to be very clear, guys, here.
We want to be,
I feel like we can ask questions. We want to be respectful to be able to answer questions. I don't mean to cut you off, but I am asking everyone who is not part or not scheduled to be, please leave the room right now. If you were not scheduled to be in this particular meeting, I said this 3 times. I'm asking you to please leave the room. And if you don't, you will be insubordinate. And I want to make sure all of you understand that if you refuse to leave the room, once I asked you 3 times already, that you would be willingly insubordinate.
I want to understand how we're insubordinate.
Is there anyone here? Is there anyone inside the room who did not understand what I shared?
No, we understand, but we also know that you understand that if you make us leave the room, that's a charge against Amazon.
Is this a non-work area?
All right.
Is this a non-work area?
I think I said it 3 times already.
Can you answer my question, Felipe?
3 times. If you were not scheduled to be in the room for this particular meeting, I asked you to leave the room. Yes, we decided.
Yeah, we're staying. We're staying.
Not leave the room and be insubordinate.
We're staying. Felipe, we're organizing on our non-work time.
This is legally protected collective action by the law. You know that.
That's the general manager.
Yes, Felipe, we're protected under Section 7A. We're protected under Section 7A.
I asked
and this is the same reason why we're in this room, because Amazon does a lot of things just like this. Against workers. You might be continuously breaking laws.
This is what we're going to do. We are going to get this session started, right? We're going to get this session started. I very clearly told everyone who was not scheduled to be here to leave the room, and you decided to stay. So we're going to get this session started. So you're right.
By the general manager, and saying that we'll be insubordinate, we don't leave.
Thank you.
We'll file more charges. Get ready for them.
Now, Jordan, for people who may not kind of get the grasp of the significance of this clip, could you help the people to understand what those Amazon employees were attempting to do and what the gentleman who was telling them that they were on the borderline of being insubordinate, what he was trying to stop them or allegedly stop them from doing?
Yeah, so this is at JFK 8, which is the Staten Island warehouse New York, that workers have been trying to form a union basically for almost a year. They started last April. So Amazon started doing daily mandatory union busting sessions in November. They call them training, but I've listened to them, and it's just basically union busting, why you shouldn't vote for the union, why the union is tyranny, they're going to take your money, blah, 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 blah. So Amazon stopped doing them in December and most of January, but all of a sudden this week they started doing them again. It just so happens these organizers with Amazon Labor Union, that's the group of workers that are trying to form a union, that they finally, after almost a year, they were awarded an election for a union from the National Labor Relations Board. So basically what you see in this clip, the general manager in this union busting session is trying to get the union organizers to leave the room so that he'll have direct access to workers to push propaganda about the union. So basically they're trying to just get rid of the organizers in the union. And as you can see, the union organizers are pushing back refusing to leave. And as a result, they shut down the meeting. The meeting wasn't held. And I was told 2 other meetings that were supposed to help it happen were shut down because the union organizers basically weren't having it.
I like to, I think I'd like to believe that everybody understands the importance of unions. I know historically unions are not exactly have been favorable to Black people, but notwithstanding, we have a strong history with labor. A. Philip Randolph, just to name one of the outstanding labor organizers in the Black community. What bothers me about this clip is the fact that it's easily looked over, except for the fact that every single person on the face of this country, I almost wanted to say this planet, every single one of us in this country is impacted by Amazon. We're impacted by them on our highways. We're impacted by them in our neighborhoods. We have more Amazon warehouses in parts of Atlanta than we have hospitals. You have to drive 30 miles to get to a hospital, but you can get to 3 Amazon warehouses within a 5-mile, about a 10-mile radius of a particular city in Atlanta where I live. That said, how do we help people to understand why people who do not work in these warehouses, people who made themselves not be a part of unions, why is it so important for us to stand in solidarity with these workers?
Because in order, frankly, to get your yoga mat in 2 hours from Amazon, there are workers literally fainting in the warehouse to get you that yoga mat for 2 hours. I mean, I've been reporting on this particular warehouse and the union busting for almost a year. You got workers that are literally homeless, sleeping in their car. Because they're not paid enough and can't afford a place in New York City. You have workers that are being carted off on stretchers during the summer because the heat is so bad in this warehouse. Jeff Bezos has enough money to go into space. I guess central air conditioning is a problem in these warehouses. Wow. You have workers that are literally being basically watched if they go to the bathroom and reprimanded. And by the way, what you're seeing, that union busting, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I've broken at Status Coup. They put signage everywhere in the warehouse, propaganda against the union. They literally put signage that union people are going to come to your home, your parents' home, almost like, the immigration fear kind of language against these workers. You've had union consultants. Amazon pays millions of dollars to bring in union busting consultants, they call them trainers, to pull aside workers to basically talk against the union. And by the way, on the minorities point, the majority of workers at this particular warehouse are Black and brown. And that's right. I can't speak to other places, but in New York, it is mostly Black and brown people and a lot of young people. We're talking 18 to 25. So really what they're trying to do, they are stone cold trying to bust this union, trying to make them lose the vote. And they're doing everything possible, which in this clip is basically, let's get rid of the union organizers so we have direct access to the workers that might be on the fence to push propaganda on them.
One last thing, Jordan, I know you got to get out of here, but I want to juxtapose this with the video of the Amazon truck drivers, who I know are independent contractors. Most people may not be aware, but the truck delivery guys are not officially Amazon employees, even though they drive Amazon trucks and wear Amazon vests. What we've seen, and the reporting has come out, that even your delivery driver is suffering underneath conditions where they have to urinate in bottles, right, to get us our packages in 2 hours or by the next day. And then last but not least, I'm sure you saw the report that Amazon is now concerned. Now they're concerned that they're burning through employees at such a rate that they do not believe that they will have sufficient employees in the future. I think that is a signal enough to help us understand exactly how cruel they're being to their employees and why unionizing is so important.
Yeah, just at this warehouse that video is from, they have 150% turnover rate, meaning they're either quitting or firing at 150% rate. The average worker there is there for no more than 6 months. And on the driver point, I spoke with 2 workers a couple months ago, literally in a snowstorm, their truck flipped. And the first question that they were asked by their supervisor is, do you still think you can make the next delivery? Not, Jesus, how are you? So this is literally, Ben, this is an economic Hunger Games. And, the mass media, who gets a lot of money from Amazon, they generally report on it sort of, kind of, but not in depth. But if more people knew what is being done to these workers to get you your prime delivery, I do believe more people would, start to pull back.
Absolutely. Jordan Sheridan, Status Coup. Could you tell everybody how they can support your work and support these workers?
Yeah, Status Coup on YouTube. That's COUP. Please subscribe. YouTube is not always friendly in terms of, sending our work to people. So that's Status Coup on YouTube. And you could support us at statuscoup.com/join. We do a lot of investigative and on the ground reporting.